listen now, we the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. Going into week 16, it's getting to the hard phase for the NFL season. Playoff hunt on full throttle, and we're going to have all the predictions for you this week, as well as some fantasy football advice. It's also hot season in fantasy football, championship time, so best time for some advice from a fantasy football pro, some betting advice at the end of the show if you want to make $10. But first of all, my usual two questions: how you doing, and how was our record from last week?
Oh, man. I'm better than Rams fans. I'll tell you that right now. Because, Jesus, you do not want to be the one team that lost to the Jets. I mean, come on. God. That's depressing to think about, man. But not a bad week for us. We actually tied this week. And I thought for sure I was going to make up that point until the Cards pulled it out against the Eagles. And actually, I would have made 2 on you if that would have been the case. But, of course, the Cowboys beat the 49ers. We had 12 each, bringing our total to 148.5 to 149.5. So,
still close.
This will be the week where I at least catch you, if not pass you.
Okay, so this is going to be the week where I get 3 more on you, and then next week it's not going to be exciting anymore because my lead is too big. Got it.
Not quite.
I think that's how it's gonna go. Okay, I wanted to make up some more points, but at least it's gonna be a tight one to the end. Before we get into predictions, I wanted to do this real quick. We are known to put out some bets on our conflicting football opinions, and over 2020 we've made a couple of them. About a dozen or so, and a couple of them we can actually call because they're over. And I have a few bets that I want to read out that we made that we can basically officially call done. So I'm going to start with the ones that are definitively over, and we made these. You can go back, listen to previous shows if you don't believe we made these. So the first one is the Chargers win record over under 4. I took the over on this. You took the under, and the over wins. So that is I bet for me that is 3 cans of Monster Energy. Thank you very much. Second one would be a coach getting fired before week 9. I took the yes, you took the no. More than one coach got fired before week 9. Now it's 3-1 odds. It's 3-1 odds in I believe.
I really took the no on that.
You took the no on that, yeah. With Adam Gase, no less. It's 3-1 odds.
Why would I do that?
For no. So I win that as well for 1 can. We have Tua being the Bengals starter for this year. That was, of course, a prediction I made way back, and went pretty far out on the limb on that one, I will admit. Still insist that he would have been if he didn't get hurt in college, but that obviously did not come true, so you win that one. And we have Jake Fromm, which we bet on his draft stock being in the top 3.5 quarterbacks selected over under. You picked the over because you're a hopeless homer Georgia fan. I picked the realistic under and ended up winning, unsurprisingly.
Oh, dude, I had regrets on that bet. As soon as the season started and I saw his usage, I was like, no, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Because heading into that season, of course, this was, almost, a year and a half ago now when we made that bet. Heading into that season, he was predicted to be a Heisman contender and a top 3 draft pick. But I knew, probably 3 games into the season that just wasn't going to happen because Kirby Smart's offense is horrible, which maybe now with JT Daniels that has changed, but we'll see heading into the future.
So those bets are done. They are settled. We have a couple more that are basically done, not quite as an outside chance, but these are pretty much also over. First one is, of course, the big one that I also went pretty far out on the limb on, is that we're going to see Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs and Niners. That's not happening. Niners are not making the playoffs. Their entire practice squad is playing, and they should not be making any sort of playoff push. They're not even going to make the playoffs as it stands. So I had good odds on that one, so I took it, but that is definitely your bet as you took the no. We had Houston to make the playoffs, which also is not happening. Season's not over, but that's also not happening. You took the yes, I took the no, and this is a hefty one, 4 cans. So I am very delighted about that one.
Was it really?
It was 4 cans. Wow. And then we have kind of tied to that Deshaun Watson being a top 5 quarterback in 2020. Now, I'm going to do more exact stat crunching when the season is fully over, but I have a pretty good feeling I win this one too, having taken the no.
Yeah, I think in the end he's not going to quite pull that out.
Probably not. Now, the rest of them are still open. We have the Watson versus Mahomes for the MVP. Now, Watson's not going to win it, but Mahomes still has a chance to win it. The Vikings win record over under 8. You're currently favored there as you took the under, but the Vikings could still pull out 2 in a row. And we have Kyler Murray's second season being worse or better than his rookie year, which that's a close one. And we're going to have to crunch the numbers on that as the season ends. I'm going to have to look more deeply into that. That's probably the tightest one that we have at the moment. And then there's the Heisman winner, which I also feel like I have a good shot in picking Jones, the man from Alabama.
There's another problem, with the college bet that I made, because I should have never entrusted Florida to do anything right. Now, the kid has the capabilities of winning the Heisman. He has put up record numbers for a Florida quarterback, like Tim Tebow numbers, But Florida can't be trusted to actually win in big game like this. LSU was actually one of the worst teams this season, following that massive season they had last season. They were one of the worst teams in the SEC this year.
Well, they lost a lot of their offensive stars.
Exactly. They lost 16 of their starters, as a matter of fact. They go into this game, the final game. Florida should have wiped the floor with them and went on to the SEC championship. But no, they lost. And, it was a close game, but they shouldn't have lost to a team that is that bad. LSU already had, I'd have to look at the record, like 4 or 5 losses this year. It was not a competition. They should have done that. And I should never trust Dan Mullen and Florida in any betting circumstances, and I'm learning a lesson there. But there is still a chance that we could see Kyle Trask win the Heisman. I mean, it's all stats. Like, the stats between him and Mac Jones are extremely close at this point.
At this point, I'd probably favor Zach Wilson coming and snagging it over Kyle Trask.
That is possible, yes.
That would count out the small schools like this.
There's also, Najee Harris. If they're going to give it to a running back or a wide receiver.
I doubt it.
Because, I doubt it too, but it's possible. I mean, we've seen Alabama running backs win the Heisman in the past,
that is true.
With Mark Ingram and such.
That is true. It's pretty much the MVP of college football, though, so it's more than likely going to be quarterback. We'll see how it develops. Can't call the bet just yet. We also have this very interesting one: the Dolphins versus the Cardinals. Who makes the playoffs first? And we have a full meal on this one. We have a pizza and 2 cans on this bet. So we're both very convinced. I have the Dolphins. You have the Cardinals. There is a good chance that both of them make it this year. In which case, nothing happens. I still see myself favored because the Dolphins are pretty much guaranteed to make it at this point, and the Cardinals are still sort of on the wire. And lo and behold, my Niners have the chance to play spoiler this week. So we'll get into the predictions with that being said. But that's how the betting is currently looking, more on that as the season concludes. Getting into week 16. And first game, we have a classic, I guess. The Vikings at the Saints.
Man, I went into this thinking, yes, the Saints should win this one easily, right? But then you reminded me right before we started recording that the Vikings own the Saints. And I thought, you're right, they do. They do own the Saints. And the Saints fans complain about it every single season. It'll probably come down to some catch that the Saints fans are complaining about, or, the ref was, picking his nose instead of watching where the ball was placed or something like that, But man, that makes it tougher than I thought. I mean, I originally just circled the Saints. Like, there's no reason to pick the Vikings here, but that makes it tough. But I think at this point I'll stick with the Saints here.
Man, I'm kind of sad that my strategy did not work. I really wanted to get you off the Saints, and I wanted you to pick the Vikings so that I can come in and pick the Saints instead. The Vikings have owned the Saints in recent memory, but that's been playoff time, or that's been choke season, and this regular season's a little bit different. And I will also pick the Saints. Was hoping that you would disagree after that setup, but you stuck with your pick, so I can't say anything about that. Buccaneers at the Lions.
Man, I've got to say this. I thought for so long that I hated the Patriots, right? And I thought, why is it? Well, I do, but why is it that the refs always tend to slant a game in the Patriots' direction? Well, I think this season has told us that it's not necessarily the refs playing up for the Patriots. It's the refs playing up for Tom Brady. Did you watch this game? Did you watch it?
I saw the highlights.
Yes, clearly cheating to get. I mean, they want Tom Brady in the playoffs so bad that they will just blatantly right on TV with the announcer saying, this looks conspiratorial to me. The announcers are calling them out on TV while the refs are blatantly slanting the game in the favor of the Buccaneers. Yes, I went in this game and said, there's no reason for the Falcons to win this. Bucs should win it. But the Falcons came out and did what they did to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl and in games past. Now, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Tom Brady can't win the first half of a game to save his life, yet he's always the greatest quarterback in the world in the second half. Man, I hate Tom Brady. That's it. I'm done. I am no longer going to... I'm just done, man. I'm done with Tom Brady. Either way, the Bucs are going to win this game, though.
I will agree with your judgment, and to expand on your rant a little bit there. Yes, you definitely observed that correctly. I don't think it's something that is particularly just individual to Tom Brady, but to the star quarterback in general. If you see, for example, Drew Brees getting much of the same treatment on a week-to-week basis, and the same can be to a lesser degree said for Aaron Rodgers because he puts himself out there a bit more, but it tends to be the star quarterbacks, the big money makers that just get some extra attention, some extra protection. That is certainly true, and I think most people are in fact aware of that. I will agree with you though, they should, for all intents and purposes, beat the Lions. Lions, no idea who's going to be calling the defensive plays as the entire defensive coaching staff is on the COVID list or something. It's going to be chaos, so Buccaneers should win it. Niners at the Cardinals.
Man, you want them to play spoiler, huh? Dude, before this past week happened, I would have probably looked at this and said, this is pretty even. But you guys got beat by the Cowboys, and the Cards are back on a win streak. I guess you can call it a win streak, whatever they're doing there. I think the Cards and Kyler Murray continue, and they're probably going to pull out that bet for me. Actually, two bets. Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are both going to help me win those bets. So I'm going with the Cards here to beat the beat-up 49ers and hope that we see Josh Rosen at some point in this game to help out my cause.
Let me stay with me for a second. So Niners come out, everyone's hurt, so they kind of go down. They can't really keep up. Beathard is okay but not good, and they're down kind of 17-3, maybe 21-10 at halftime. And Kyle Shanahan's like, whatever, doesn't matter. We're out of playoffs anyway. Out comes Josh Rosen back in the old stadium, the team that started the waste of his career, that so disrespectfully drafted him, threw him out of the window without ever giving him a chance. And now he's back. He's got the best offensive play caller in the game behind him. 3 days of practice, doesn't matter, and he throws for like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. 49ers going to win the game. I have San Francisco in this one. I know I'm picking against the odds massively, but it would just be too good in every way for it not to happen. I think, and I know a lot of, like 99% of people will call me crazy, I think Josh Rosen at this point might be the best quarterback on the 49ers team. You know how much I like him. I think he's got great potential. And listen, I also like Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got great potential. He's a top 10 quarterback if healthy, and and surrounded with the correct offense. But I think there's some serious potential in Josh Rosen, and I really, really hope that he's going to stick around after this year. They'll cut someone, they'll cut Mullins. Maybe if they think Garoppolo is just too injury prone, he'll be gone. I really hope Josh Rosen finds a spot on this roster long term, and Kyle Shanahan gets his hands on him for an entire offseason. Big things can happen, but we're going to see a flash of that. Niners beat the Cardinals in the desert. It's a wishful pick, but I have to make it. Dolphins at the Raiders.
Listen, man, I'm with you. I'm with you on Sam Darnold. I think he can be great in the right situation. Definitely with you on Carson Wentz. I'm with you on Tua. I mean, it's obvious that I'm with you on Josh Allen. But I can't see it with Rosen, man. I'm just putting that out there.
For years, you've been the biggest Matt Ryan fan ever. Like, he's the same guy. That's who Rosen was when he came out of college. Everyone was comparing him to Matt Ryan. That's the type of quarterback he is. And you see what Kyle Shanahan did with Matt Ryan, made him the MVP.
I mean, it's possible, I guess. But, I mean, how many times have we saw a great college quarterback just not be able to make that conversion to the NFL? I mean, think of Tim Tebow here, you know? I mean, there's really great. I mean, of course, this is a completely different skill set from Josh Rosen to Tim Tebow, but it just happens. I mean, and I haven't seen one single game out of Josh Rosen that leads me to believe that this guy could make it in the NFL.
Well, he beat up on the Niners in his rookie season twice with the Cardinals.
Well, yeah, but weren't they pretty much the worst team in the NFL?
Well, yeah, they were horrible at the time. That is true. Yeah. That is certainly true.
Well, we'll see. Dolphins and the Raiders, man. This is Tua's time to shine right here. Oh, wow, we got Islanders facing off against each other. I didn't even think about that. Tua versus Mariota, man. We're going to see some Pacific Islanders go to war here. This will be interesting. I do think Mariota might actually be better than Derek Carr. You know, these guys have been compared a lot through their careers. They were both actually on an MVP season or MVP trajectory season at the exact same year when they both broke their legs late in that season. So these guys have a lot in common, you know. So I think that's a lateral move from Derek Carr to Mariota. But the Dolphins actually have something going. I love the way Tua looks right now. I think Tua is definitely going to be successful in the NFL. And I think the Dolphins take this one on the road.
Weekly reminder, I called all of this way before it happened. The Raiders are frauds. They're going to end up going 8-8 and not win a playoff game. I was the first one probably to say it. I am still the one to say it, and I will keep saying that I said it until the season is over. Dolphins win at Vegas. Colts at the Steelers.
Well, I'll tell you something that I called. There's something wrong in Pittsburgh, man. And they are falling apart at the seams right now. That defense, like they're losing at least one key member of that defense every game. I mean, who do we have left? You know, I don't know, man. That you would think the Steelers should put up a good fight here, and even though they lost to one of the worst teams, you know, they had a good quarter in that game. They showed signs of life. But I'm not so sure that there's not something wrong with Big Ben. That he could be having, that Peyton Manning season where the defense got Peyton Manning by to the Super Bowl, even though Peyton had fallen apart and, zombie Peyton, as I like to call him. I think this could be zombie Ben at this point, except for his defense is falling apart game by game. That could just be the problem. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, his longtime nemesis throughout his entire career, I'm going to go with the Colts to win this one.
Absolutely agree. Colts on the upswing. And yeah, the Steelers, all of a sudden, they're sitting there at 11-0. And they're undefeated. And they're going to the Super Bowl. There's no weaknesses on that team. 3 weeks later, we look at them. Wow, there's no strengths on this team. Defense, all of a sudden, not producing. They can't run the football at all anymore, and Juju's acting like Antonio Brown in the worst possible moment. He's starting to he hasn't played like Antonio Brown on the field ever since Antonio Brown left. he has even less of a merit to start acting like him off the field. So unbecoming. So I don't know what's going on with that receiver room. Maybe it is the lack of that veteran presence. Juju, let me remind you, is the oldest receiver in that room, and that can't fly. He's 20. He's like 25, and then you got all the rookies. You got Johnson and Claypool.
Yeah.
A lot of talent, but damn, you can't behave it. What are you doing? You can't do that stuff. And then you take to Twitter and social media, and keep clowning around. When your team currently is in a free fall, you can't do that. So Steelers have to catch themselves, and I really like the Colts. I think they've been doing well. The defense has been getting more and more solid. The offense has been getting more and more solid. They should win the game. Didn't expect this to be my pick 3 weeks ago. Whenever the Steelers were undefeated, we had questions about the Colts, but right now it makes a lot of sense, and they are actually the odds-on favorites. It's a small margin, but the Colts are favored by a point, so I will take them to win. Falcons at the Chiefs.
All right, well, let's break this down. Okay, quarterbacks, pretty much equal.
What?
Running backs, pretty much equal.
I'll give you that one.
Receivers, now that Julio's out, the receivers are pretty much equal.
Pretty much equal, yeah.
Yeah, coaching, like they're pretty much on a level playing field here.
Oh yeah, right.
Who are you to doubt Raheem Morris? That's stupid. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, man. Falcons have no reason to win this game, even if they were on an even playing field.
If you'd have started with the running backs and the receivers, you would have made a point, and then the quarterback would have been the joke. Obviously, the final straw. But yeah,
yeah, true.
Yeah, right. Chiefs are going to win the game. I will agree with that. Could be a high-scoring one. Look out for that. This has the potential to tear the roof off a little bit. Like the Chiefs did against the Saints as well. 50-plus points, easily possible. The Bears at the Jaguars.
Oh, man. Bears fans hate me, obviously. But the Bears are doing well again. Looks like the first 3 games of the season where they did relatively well, and I don't know, man. There's always this recency bias that analysts like to have, because now everyone's talking, like they got one of the best quarterbacks out there now all of the sudden, and I don't know. I still don't believe in Matt. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in Matt Nagy or not. This sounds exactly like I did in the first 3 games of the season when they were playing relatively well. But I guess there's no reason for the Jags to win this, so I have to pick the Bears here, even though I don't want to, but I'm going to.
Absolutely. Jaguars have a firm grip on the first overall pick, and they're not going to let it slip as easily as the Jets did last week. So they want to make sure to not win this. And I picked the Niners to beat the Cardinals, and I need Chicago to do their part because they're going to be the ones to take that playoff spot from Arizona. So that's what it might come down to, Arizona and the Bears, 2 of the oldest professional sports franchises out there. And this year I'm with the Bears. I'm going to pick the Bears to win against Jacksonville and turn the tide in their favor, winning me all the bets, which would be very appreciated. Got the Bengals at the Texans.
Hold on, did we bet on the Bears to go over 8-8?
No, we didn't. But that was the Vikings. We didn't bet on but the Bears can contribute, helping me win the Cardinals playoff bet by taking that spot away from the Cardinals.
Gotcha. I see. All right, Bengals and Texas. Man, this is gonna be a dream week for you. You get to see Ryan Finley and Josh Rosen. Well, possibly Josh Rosen play in the same week, dude. You might have a heart attack over there. I'm sure you're going to pick the Bengals to win this because you want to see Ryan Finley just go out there and dominate. And I'm going to say that the Texans still have enough left in the gas tank, which is not much, but they still have enough to beat the Bengals here.
I will absolutely take the Bengals. You're there, right? I will. Ryan Finley, center stage, 1-on-1 against Deshaun Watson. Out duel. He's going to go out there. He's going to beat him. That's what's happening. He's going to beat him. And that's my final word. Because Ryan Finley, next year, Ryan Finley's starting somewhere. If he keeps playing for the rest of the year, and he plays the way...
Ryan Finley is Brandon Allen part 2, man. Come on.
How can you say that? This is the first time he's getting a chance to start coming out of college.
It is, but there's a reason why he hasn't had a chance to start yet.
I mean, you could say the same about Patrick Mahomes. If he was out a full year when he started next year, you could be like, oh man, they didn't put him in all. They didn't put him in at all against the mediocre Alex Smith. He can't be that good. No,
listen, they knew that Mahomes was starting when they drafted him. They're like, Alex Smith is going to hang around until Mahomes catches the ropes, and then we're going to throw him in there. That was the plan all along. Now, Ryan Finley was drafted. They knew, maybe they thought they could hang on to him and let Andy Dalton teach him something, but they drafted Joe Burrow this season before Ryan Finley ever started a game. So,
that was incidental, right?
Did he start one last year?
I'm not sure he did. I don't seem to remember him playing or getting much of any chance.
Yeah,
because it was the worst team in the league.
Yeah, they took Joe Burrow with all intent that Joe Burrow has this job, and Ryan Finley's not going to be our starter, though.
Bengals beat the Texans. Not a doubt in my mind. 3 touchdowns, 350 yards, a rushing touchdown on top of it. Ryan Finley is a starter somewhere else probably next year. Bengals to beat Houston. Giants Colts at the Ravens. Yeah, maybe the Colts.
Man, I'm wondering if you have the guts to pick the Jets, who are on a win streak right now. That's what I want to know. Jets, how could you blow that? Like, you are losing Trevor Lawrence. You know what it is? It's Adam Gase. It's Adam Gase. I guess it's
he
a combination.
He can't even win at losing.
Exactly. It's Adam Gase. Like, he knows he's not going to be there next year, so I guess he really doesn't care. And the players are like, we're not going to be part of an 0-16 season, so they're out there playing their hearts out. And I guess that's what led to them winning a game. There's just no reason for them to win at this point, but I'm guessing that's how that win came about. Now, the post-hype sleepers are on fire right now.
I said that we're talking about the Giants at the Ravens, but we can do either order. Let's go with the Browns and Jets first.
Did I skip? I wrote them up.
It's fine. We can go this way.
But yeah, let's keep going with it. The Jets, I'm going to pick the Browns, man. There's no reason to contemplate this. They're not on a hot streak or anything. There's no way they're going to win another one, right? Especially against the Browns.
Well, they have the better quarterback, the one that should have been selected first overall whenever the Browns didn't do it. But other than that, they don't have much of anything to support him, and that's showing out. He flashed last week, along with, of course, Frank Gore, greatest running back in the history of the NFL, no less, who, or maybe second, I don't know, who ended up catching that final pass, which was also phenomenal to beat the Rams. That was a good day, altogether, good day for me. Mm-hmm. I will take the Browns to win the game. It's going to be closer than it should be because Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield, but there's not much else around him. So I will take the Browns to win the game. Anyway, now let's go to the Giants and Ravens.
Giants and Ravens. This shouldn't be a contest either. Lamar Jackson has he's come full circle. His regression is pretty much over at this point. As we often see, you know what? This cycle actually happens to running backs much more than it does the quarterbacks. But I guess we can consider Lamar half running back, and half quarterback. But I think his regression is over at this point, and we should see Lamar Jackson and the Ravens finish this season very strong and make a playoff push. Definitely, if they end up, 11-5, there's no reason why they would be out of the playoffs. So they're in it to win it, and the Giants have, they're mathematically still possible that they could win, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think everyone is still possible to win.
Yeah, I'm looking at 5-9 for the Jets. For the Giants, 5-9 for the Cowboys. Washington is 6-8, but I don't see them winning without Alex Smith. Dude, and the Eagles are still 4-9. Dude, any of those teams. Whoever wins the next 2 games, I imagine, is going to win.
Yep, anything can happen.
Yeah, picking the Ravens at home to win this. Should
agree.
Be a contest.
I will take the Ravens as well. They have to step up. We've talked about that division. getting strong. Steelers kind of struggling with their really good record. The Browns are playing really well, and I mean the Bengals, star quarterback. Can you spell Ryan Finley? I mean, the Bengals are looking up right now, I gotta say. So yeah, you better brace yourself here, Baltimore, not fall behind in that division. But yeah, but Ravens should beat the Giants here. No doubt about that. We talked about the Browns and Jets already, so move on to the Panthers and the mentioned Washington Footballs.
Real quick, if you had a franchise, would you go with Ryan Finley or Joe Burrow?
Right now? Or 10 years? Like 10 years future or this season?
No, a franchise. Who would be your franchise guy?
Probably Burrow. If he's the same. The thing is, I have to see him come off that injury, and how long it'll take him to come back from that, because that's gonna take a full year at least. So,
true.
I will you know what? I'll take the Bengals quarterback room. I will take Burrow and Ryan Finley though. That's one of my favorite quarterback rooms in the league to take.
I figured that's how that answer would end up. Is I'll take both of them.
Take them both.
All right. Oh, Panthers and Washington. Man, this is tough right here because the Panthers are not well, and Christian McCaffrey still looks like he's not going to be back for this game. And they're on a downward spiral now. I think they may be playing for a draft pick at this point. And Washington's defense looks killer, you know. Even if Alex Smith is not back, which is going to make this game much, much closer than I expect. Dwayne Haskins, though, do we even know, like, is he going to be punished for the pictures coming out of him being out at the club with no mask on?
I've given up on Dwayne Haskins, like, so long ago. I mean, this is Jamarcus Russell-esque, what this guy's been pulling off. I think he's going to be out of the league in a year, honestly. You can't do that. You can't be like this whenever you're losing, and whenever you are, you might have to start. You don't know what's up with Alex Smith, he's playing or not. You never know from week to week. You can't do that stuff. You can't do that stuff in general, but you can't do it as a professional football player, quarterback, head of your franchise. No, you can't do it.
It's stupid. It's stupid, man. Another name in the long list of Ohio State quarterbacks that just never made it. We'll see about Justin Fields going forward, but I think I'll go ahead and, I'll put it on the line and just say Washington's going to win this. Hopefully Alex Smith makes it back or something.
That's really kind of the condition that I'm picking this game under. It's tough. If Alex Smith does make it, or if Alex Smith played in this game, I'll definitely pick Washington. I think they're on the upswing, and Carolina hasn't been looking as good. They started the season overperforming compared to their expectations, but not really never really been a big danger to actually compete for the playoffs. So I will go with Washington here. I think I want them to win, first of all, because I want to see Alex Smith make the playoffs. So just be great. Also, I don't want anyone else in that division to make the playoffs necessarily, so why not root for Washington? But I will take them there. I think they can win it if the defense is sturdy, and they have been so far. They have shown a very good pass rush, which tends to translate well in games where teams are evenly matched, so I will go with Washington. Broncos at the Chargers.
This is another tough one, really. I've lost the bet about the Chargers going 5 and under, or 4 and under actually. So I don't have any reason to keep picking against them at this point. The Broncos, look like they can put up offense from time to time, but this really comes down to Drew Lock versus Herbert, man. And I'm going with Justin Herbert in this one. I think the Chargers take this one at home. I think the Broncos may be in the hunt for a new quarterback next season.
Wow, that's maybe. You never know. I mean, how many quarterbacks does John Elway need to draft before he has one that he likes after a year?
Exactly. Yes.
We'll have to wait and see it. Somebody's just going to go out himself again and play if he just can't find anyone. But I did like Drew Lock. We'll see how that goes. I love Justin Herbert, though. He's been phenomenal all year. Rookie of the year, most likely. Definitely my top candidate there. And he should win this game as well. Get the Chargers another win there. So I will pick them as well. The classical Eagles at the Cowboys.
Man, you know what? This It seems like this would be easy, considering the record as of late, and the Eagles are still not winning. The Cowboys are somehow winning with Andy Dalton right now. But actually, they got the win over to the Saints. So, man, I think Jalen Hurts I don't know if he's going to have longevity in the NFL, but I think he's actually good for the Eagles. And like we said in the past couple weeks, he is the best quarterback for that team at this time because of the condition their offensive line is in. I at some point, I've got to stop doubting Jalen Hurts because I doubted him coming into college, and he's just a running back, playing quarterback, doesn't have an arm, whatever. But maybe this day and age, that's really, you don't really need it, Tua took his job. And I doubted him then. He goes out to Oklahoma. I'm like, yeah, he's never going to be nothing. No, he was in the run for the Heisman that year. And now he's coming into the NFL. And I'm like, well, he'll never make it in the NFL. But so far in 2 games, he's looking like comparable to Lamar Jackson, something like that. But I think I originally picked the Cowboys, but I'm going to switch my pick to the Eagles here.
This is, to me, always a really, really tough game to pick, especially when both teams tend to suck, and I don't really know what to think. So I agree with you on Jalen Hurts. He's a better quarterback for the team situation, and that's not a praise of Jalen Hurts, that's a criticism of the team situation. Absolutely. Yeah. As for the Cowboys, defense has been getting a lot better since the start of the season. The last few games, they've really tightened up. And held their own. People have started to perform, so that's an encouraging sign. To me, this is honestly a coin flip. So what I do is I pick the team that I would like to see win, which is never the Cowboys ever. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, right. And maybe they'll make the division even tougher coming down to the final week. But we'll see about that. Speaking of divisional rivalries, Rams at the Seahawks.
Oh man. When you look at Sean McVay versus Adam Gase, which one do you think would win in a matchup? I mean, 99 times out of 100, you would say Sean McVay, right? But I guess this was that one time that Adam Gase got one in on him,
Yeah, it's the Darnold effect.
Maybe he would win the next, 99, but it's not a good look for the Rams in that offense right now because they were not great and they couldn't put anything together. But you know what? Very similar to Pittsburgh, there's something wrong in Seattle. And Russ is not cooking anymore. I think he burnt the dinner, man. Maybe they let him cook too much. Maybe he only has a half a season in him. But they're going to have to get back to the run-first offense or something. And against the Rams defense, that's probably not going to work out. But man, you know what? I'm going to take the better quarterback because overall, I do think Russell is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. And they're in Seattle, but I could see them blowing this too and the Rams getting a win. I don't know. It's really close.
So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how the dynamics work in the NFC West. So here's how this goes, basically. Cardinals beat the Niners beat the Rams beat the Seahawks, and the Seahawks beat the Cardinals. That's how it's been, that's how it is, and that seems to somehow always be the case. 60% chance the Rams run a fake punt in this game, because they always do against Seattle, and it always works. So I have the Rams. To win the game. I think this is just history repeating itself once again. This has just been too long in the making because it happens all the time. They are the more consistent team. And you picked the better quarterback, but you said yourself how he's not really himself right now. So I will absolutely go with the Rams to come back from that embarrassing loss to the Jets. It was a Darnold effect. It happens. But still in the playoff hunt, so I'll take him to beat Seattle. We have the Titans at the Packers.
Well, much like the last game, I'm looking at these teams and going, wow, they're pretty much evenly matched. Actually, the last 5 games, they're pretty much evenly matched, and they're close to being on the same trajectory at this time. And records are very similar. And so I guess it comes down to let's pick the best quarterback. Now, I will say this. Derrick Henry is going to run all over the Packers because the Packers are worst in run defense. Maybe not worst in the league, but they're down there in the bottom 5. And that's how you beat the Packers, is through the run. And the Titans have no problem running the ball with Derrick Henry, especially in the cold. They're going to be in Green Bay for this one. But I got to put it on the shoulders of Aaron Rodgers to pull one out. I think in the end the Packers are probably going to win this.
See, you gave the perfect argument for why the Packers should not win, which is the run game, and that's traditionally how this Packer team is beat. We've seen what happened last year whenever they played a real round-first team. They got completely destroyed, and you could expect this to look a similar fashion. But then again, it always kind of comes back to that quarterback for Green Bay, doesn't it? Like, you make all the arguments why they should lose, why they're not favored, why the Titans should win this, but they have Aaron Rodgers, don't they? So when it comes to picking, you kind of always have to retreat from that, and you pick the Packers anyway. And I'm going to do the same. I'm not going to say I'm above that. I'll take the Packers because they have Aaron Rodgers, and that's a very simple conclusion there. There's no analytics that I can bring, no more expertise. It's just they have Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers wins games against anyone, so I'll take him. Bills at the Patriots.
Well, this is an interesting game for me because, I mean, of course we saw how it turned out last time, and I expect the same results this time. But I love seeing Cam Newton versus the new Cam Newton, man. It's so awesome. I really like it.
Better Cam Newton.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a stronger arm. I mean, that's proven. Running, as far as his running abilities, they're so similar. Maybe I'd have to look up their 40 time. Maybe Cam Newton is just a smidge faster than him overall. But, dude, they're so similar. Josh Allen can get it done on the ground just as easily as he can through the air right now. And that was the big bone of contention that all the other analysts have, is that, well, he's not accurate enough to be the MVP. He's never going to win the MVP. He's just not good enough. Yeah, he might have had a good game, but he's going to blow it. Okay, he might have had 2 good games. He might have had 3 good games. He's still going to blow it. And, dude, tune into the fantasy show. I got something to say about that. I'm taking the Bills on the road to beat the Patriots for the 2nd time this season.
I will also take the Buffalo Bills to win here. I think that in his prime, probably Cam Newton is a slightly more dangerous runner than Josh Allen. But Allen's a better passer at this point, and what it'll also come down to is his longevity. Is he going to last long or do this or stay at the top of his game for longer than Cam Newton was able to? Because for Cam, it was a couple seasons that he was in that real MVP race. We were talking about him as potentially the best player in the league, and those days seem now long gone. And Josh Allen just the first year where he is in that mix. How long can he do it? Hopefully a long time. Definitely would like to see that, because with Buffalo being a competitive team and Josh Allen proving people wrong, I can totally get behind that. I will also take Buffalo here. Looking forward to the playoffs. Patriot-free playoffs. Sounds good. Huh. Yeah. So that is our predictions for Week 16. I'm going to, with the combined might of Ryan Finley and Josh Rosen, I'm going to pull away in the prediction game, but no less next week is going to be fun for Week 17, if not particularly close, because I'm winning every pick. But still, you should tune in. And also, as Smokey already mentioned, definitely check out the Hurry Up Offense coming up, a fantasy show on this channel. So subscribe to not miss that. Some fantasy advice in 5 minutes or less. And as far as I can tell, a monologue about Josh Allen. That is going to be interesting. Yeah. So I definitely want to hear that as well. To close out this show, some betting advice. If you are a man of the money, you want to put some money on the line for this week 16. I looked at all the odds. I made 2 bets. As always, every week we're making 2 winning bets, except for most weeks we win one and lose the other, but this week we are winning both. Guaranteed. And first and foremost, we are taking the Colts. Slight favorites, I mentioned it. Minus 1.5 against the Steelers, but this Pittsburgh team is one of the worst 11-3 teams I have ever seen. They are falling apart right now. Once again, personnel problems, locker room problems. It seems to be never leaving them alone. You had Antonio Brown, you had Minka Fitzpatrick, now it's Juju, Le'Veon Bell at the time too, and now it's Juju making a ruckus. So I'll take a solid Colts team any day of the week to win by more than 1.5 points. And secondly, we're going to make use of the old try and trust. I like to call it a rope-a-dope because whenever a team suffers a bad loss, they get critically underrated in the next week's odds. We're going to make use of that once again by picking the Rams, who are a 1.5 point underdog at Seattle. I believe they're going to win. They have a good matchup. They lost to the Jets. The odds are against them. So thinks Vegas, at least. We're going to go against that, and we're going to make profit off of that hype, that non-existent hype, because the Rams are beating the Seahawks. So those are your two bets for this week. Go make them. $5 on each for me. Easy $10, hopefully, maybe not, but we'll see. It should be 100%, actually, should be guaranteed. Looking forward to these games. Definitely going to be a good week. Do you have anything to add?
I think that'll do it for this week.
All right, I want to thank everybody for watching. Hurry Up Offense coming up soon, and we will going to see you in the next one.
Deuces.